College basketball always delivers unpredictability, and Saturday, November 29, 2025, was no exception. Momentum swings, halftime adjustments, and late-game chaos made this slate a wild one, and every number mattered. Let's break down the key results from yesterday before we jump into today's picks. Now, as always, before the recap, it's worth reminding everyone that supporting the channel keeps these daily breakdowns coming. Less than 25% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you find value in the analysis, if you enjoy the picks, and if you want to help the channel grow toward that 2,000 goal, right now sitting at 1121, hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and helps in a huge way. First up, Butler minus 4.5, OU 152.5. Down 3 at halftime, Butler came alive in the second half, scoring 65 points to win 94-69. Spread covered, total hit. Sometimes a halftime speech makes all the difference. Oklahoma plus 1.5 edged Marquette 75-74, another reminder not to trust Marquette as a favorite. The line had shifted through zero, creating headaches for bettors, but those with the plus 1.5 got it done. Arkansas State minus 115 needed overtime to beat North Dakota State 85-80. They shot 40% from the field but hit 91% from the line. North Dakota State shot 39% and 64%, showing free throw efficiency can make or break a game. American minus 7 survived Maine 74-61. American led by as much as 23 points, but turnovers and Maine's occasional hot shooting made it tense late. Maine shot 50% from the field but only 52% from free throws and turned it over 18 times. American won the offensive rebound battle 7-3, classic example of execution and coaching dictating outcomes. For the losses, Texas State plus 5.5 fell to Seattle 66-52, scoring just 19 second-half points and 2 made threes. Despite winning the rebound battles, poor shooting and turnovers cost them. Illinois versus UConn in Boston ended 74-61 for UConn. Illinois struggled massively, shooting 32% from the field and 21% from three. European players struggled, with Boswell the only bright spot. Finally, Ohio State versus Pitt ended 67-66 on a Pitt half-court buzzer beater. Ohio State led late but couldn't close it. Pitt shot just 23% from deep but dominated turnovers and rebounds. Ohio State's first road test exposed potential trouble ahead with Northwestern, Illinois, West Virginia, and North Carolina looming. Let's move to Saturday's slate and start with our favorite game of the day. Our opening matchup is the Philly 5 battle featuring LaSalle and Penn. This one immediately jumps off the board for me because of the over, which is shockingly low at 150.5. Give me the over here. Both teams are led by first-year head coaches at their respective universities, which makes things interesting from a style of play perspective. Penn, under Fran McCaffery, brings that signature fast-paced, high-scoring system. For those who remember his time at Iowa, McCaffery thrives on speed, transition points, and relentless perimeter movement. His approach with Penn mirrors this: quick possessions, high energy, and a willingness to trade points rather than grind through defense. On the other side, LaSalle is led by Darius Nichols in his first year. While he's still building the program, the blueprint is clear: they will try to keep pace, push the ball up the court, and exploit any defensive gaps. LaSalle comes in at 3-4 on the season, fresh off a back-to-back. They fell to Hofstra by 5 points the night before, and notably, they returned 0 starters from last season. This is a portal-driven roster, bringing in new faces constantly. They have some size, but defense remains a liability, ranked outside the top 150 nationally, and turnovers hover around 13 per game. Penn's defense isn't elite either, but they're opportunistic, jumping passing lanes, pushing tempo, and generating transition buckets. With Penn at 4-2, fresh off a 12-point win over Merrimack, they're embracing a top 20 pace and averaging 89 points per game. While undersized, a common trait for Ivy League programs, they make up for it with high-volume threes and mid-range shots in transition. The combination of pace, high scoring, and turnover-prone offenses on both sides makes the over 150.5 a smart, calculated pick. Moving on, we have a regional battle between Buffalo and Canisius. This is one of the most compelling matchups of the day, and Buffalo at -6.5 is my choice. This is a team that has absolutely dominated so far, starting 7-0 for the first time in years. They've secured quality road wins over Southern Miss and DePaul, and a neutral site win against Vermont. Buffalo's roster is built with transfers from high major programs, including a redshirt sophomore from Wisconsin and a junior from Maryland, giving them size and depth down low that Canisius simply can't match. This is only Buffalo's second true road game of the season, which likely explains the line being lower than expected. It probably would have opened around 9.5 or 10 points. Canisius sits at 4-3 on the year and remains unbeaten at home, but their wins don't impress. Victories against a Division II opponent, Mercyhurst by 3, Maryland Eastern Shore by 3, and Binghamton by 9 highlight a team still finding its identity. Shooting at just 43% from the field and under 70% from the free throw line, this is a squad that will struggle against Buffalo's size and athleticism. For these reasons, Buffalo -6.5 is a strong bet, and I'd estimate the win probability heavily in their favor, likely around 75% to 25%. But the proximity of these campuses, just 15 minutes apart, promises an intense, high-energy environment. Next up, we have a matchup featuring Longwood taking on Maine. While we don't have an official spread, I am laying it against Maine without hesitation. Both teams are coming off back-to-back games, but Longwood at 3-4 presents a vastly superior profile compared to Maine, which sits winless at 0-7. Longwood recently lost to Siena by 7, but that was a respectable performance against a solid opponent. Maine, on the other hand, has severe limitations. They lack depth at the center position, foul excessively, can't shoot threes or free throws consistently, and their coaching approach has been historically poor. Longwood's roster features 3 players over 6'7", giving them a clear advantage in size, while Maine only has 1. This matchup is also a classic scenario where psychological and environmental factors come into play. Maine's road struggles, combined with a demoralizing season start, make them highly vulnerable. Any spread in favor of Longwood is more than reasonable, and I would take them at whatever line they open. We then move to Western Carolina visiting High Point, where High Point is -18.5, a number I view as far too low. High Point has been dominant at home, and Western Carolina remains winless on the road. WCU at 3-3 has managed some modest home victories, but their losses to programs like Cincinnati, Duke, and Lipscomb highlight their inconsistencies. Ranked in the bottom 50 for field goal percentage and bottom 15 nationally in three-point percentage, their offensive production will struggle against High Point's elite home defense, which is second in the nation in steals per game and number 1 at home. High Point's environment is ideal. A Saturday afternoon game with students back on campus, ensuring a packed gym and maximum energy. Past home wins against mid-major opponents have been lopsided, often exceeding 40 points, so expecting High Point to hit 90-plus points while holding Western Carolina under 70 is very realistic. I'd confidently lay this line up to 24 points if it moves. Now, let's discuss IU-Indy against Morehead State, a game that fits perfectly with my preferred overs strategy. IU-Indy has been absent from our betting board for a couple of weeks due to road trips, including their time at Air Force's MTE, which is high altitude and difficult to predict. Returning home to play Morehead State, IU Indy presents a strong value opportunity. Morehead sits at 3-4, with 2 wins against Division II programs and a modest win over Louisiana Monroe. Their defensive efficiency is abysmal, ranked 330th nationally, and their three-point shooting is inconsistent. IU Indy at 2-6, with a 1-1 home record, is due for a strong showing. They play an aggressive, high-tempo style, pressing defensively and generating scoring opportunities through constant three-point attempts and fast breaks. The pick here is IU Indy -2.5, with the over set at 180.5. This aligns with their pace and Morehead State's glaring defensive vulnerabilities. For the almost bets, Niagara at home on the -105 money line is the first choice. While Niagara hasn't been elite, Detroit Mercy as a road favorite is overvalued and unjustified, making Niagara a logical play. Tennessee Tech visiting Georgia is another opportunity. Georgia -33.5 is commanding. Georgia has been merciless in handling mid-major opponents at home this season, asserting dominance on both ends of the floor. Finally, Mercer at Elon provides a nuanced matchup. Both teams favor the three-point shot, but Elon boasts the stronger backcourt, which should control the pace and create efficient scoring opportunities. Take Elon at home -1.5 to secure that edge. That wraps up today's comprehensive breakdown of college basketball for November 29th. Remember, each pick here is grounded in detailed analysis of team strengths, weaknesses, matchups, and statistical trends, your roadmap to smarter wagering. If you appreciate this kind of deep dive, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community at Beyond the Box Score. We're aiming to hit 15,000 subscribers by the new year, and your support helps us keep bringing professional, expert-level insight every day. I'll see you in the next video with more predictions, breakdowns, and expert analysis. Thank you.